All right, Joe. You know that I have a sweet tooth. You know that I have a sweet tooth.
Correct. Yes.
I'm also much more adventurous with sweets than I am almost anything else in my life. I'll try
Okay.
anything sweet once, except chocolate covered bugs. Those are on the no fly list.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's a pass.
And I know people will, if we had a larger audience that really cared about it, they would get in the comments and be like, "How can you not like chocolate covered bugs?" I'm not even gonna try it. Don't ask. I'm not gonna try it. So today, I was craving a pop soda for you non-Michigan
Okay.
people. Craving a pop, and I was like, well, it's 8:30. I don't like want to go get something with caffeine, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go get a root beer. Go to the
Yeah.
gas station. Go to the pop cabinet, as it's called.
Yeah.
Um,
Pop cabinet? You mean
sure,
the fridge?
sure, it's a pop cabinet. Uh,
Sure.
sure. Um,
Cooler?
I realized in this day and age, I hadn't decided what brand of root beer I wanted.
Oh, buddy.
And I was like, oh man, oh. So I walk in and there was like a mug zero sugar one. I was like, that's a hard no. A hard no.
No.
Uh and then because we live in Michigan, there was a whole 2 rows of Fago with all different kinds of flavors.
Oh,
And so I grabbed a root beer, but something else caught my eye.
okay.
Joe, this is a candy apple Fago.
Wow.
And I was so
Look
intrigued.
at that.
I was like, I have to try it. Now it's huge,
Yeah.
so if I don't like it, this is gonna be very disappointing because I'm gonna waste a lot of soda.
Is that 24 ounces?
It's a 24 ounce. They only sell 24 ounces around us. It's wild. It's either the
Do
can or
they?
the 24 ounce. No like regular size bottles of pop. It's either the can or you get a 24-ounce soda.
Huh. Okay.
Anyway, so I'm gonna take a drink of this on stream, and we're gonna make a decision on
Wait.
how it is.
Okay, before you do that, have you smelt it yet?
I
Don't smell
just
it.
right before don't smell it.
Yeah, unless you've already taken a whiff of
Well,
it.
when you open I opened it before we started recording because I didn't want the loud like soda opening
Okay.
sound in the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
microphone. So I did get a whiff when it like opened, but not enough that I like actually smelled it.
Okay. Do you think it tastes like an apple cider? Do you think it tastes like a caramel apple, or do you think it tastes like a almost cinnamon apple?
So at first I thought it was going to be a caramel apple, which I would have been all for. Caramel's my favorite of the flavors, of the candy
Yeah.
flavors. And I was like caramel apple soda in. Color me in. But it's candy apple. And so I'm thinking maybe it's going to be like cherry apple-ish, right? Like a little bit of like
Oh, okay. Okay.
I mean, look at the color. It's a reddish
It's pretty red.
color,
That's pretty
right?
red. If it was caramel apple, it'd probably be green.
That would be my thought. And so I'm curious on how much apple versus candy is in it, right?
For
Like
sure.
is this just going to be an apple soda that I'm drinking or is this going to be like a sweet apple soda?
It I think it yes, I think that's what it's gonna be.
All right. Let's dive in and find out.
Let's go. Look at this. Welcome to Good Mythical Morning.
That's pretty good.
Alright, describe it.
It does taste like a candy apple. Like,
What does a candy apple taste like?
okay. So it definitely is appley and a little
Okay.
caramely. It's got a little caramel in it.
Okay. Okay.
Have you never had a candy apple before? Am I describing something you've never
No, I've
had?
had I've had caramel apples.
Okay. The candy apple is like the clear candy coating around the apple at the fair,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
They nailed it. They absolutely nailed that flavor. It is if I had to boil it down to words, it does taste like a sweet apple, right? Like that's the best way to put
Okay.
it is like a sweet apple, but it's front loaded. I am not a food critic, but I'm going to try my best here. When you bite into a candy apple or a caramel apple, you taste the candy first, the apple second, right?
Right.
When you drink the soda, you taste the candy first, the apple second.
Gotcha.
And I thought it
Huh.
was going to be the other way around. I thought it was going to be all apple all the time, and it's definitely not.
Right. Hey, this is why we can't record 2 weeks in a row, because there's nothing we talk about candy apple soda
I'm telling you though,
for too long.
if if you get Fago where you live, try the candy apple soda. I'm telling you, it's pretty good.
Go check it out. I'm gonna have to go hunt one down. I don't drink pop very often, but I like candy apple, and it's kind of fall-like, and I do love the fall.
I did this for you, Joe. All right, it was fall.
Thank you.
They did still have the 4th of July like firecracker flavor. And wild that they have that next to the fall release of Candy Apple.
Right.
But I was like,
They don't go bad. They're gonna keep them there till next
No.
4th of July.
they're still using the ones from last 4th of July.
Dads.
Welcome to Big Dad Energy, the journey of parenting and adulting through the eyes of two young dads. I'm your co-host, Joe Lopez, and with me, as always, is my co-dad, Jared Szymanski. Jared, how the heck are ya?
Joe, I am soggy. Soggy is the only way I can describe this. I was back at it again with the drains in the road. All right. Yesterday, we had this huge line of storms. I'm not sure how bad it got around you, but up
Yeah.
here it was
Crazy.
awful. And it was super windy at the beginning of it, and just like crazy windy. And so it blew down all the leaves and sticks and all that stuff on our road. Well, then today, like about an hour ago, we had a huge rainstorm that came down. And wouldn't you know it, my street, the drains on my street got clogged up again. So
Oh, dang.
here I was going back out there
What
and cleaning up my drains.
what's your unclogging tool for your drains?
I use a landscaping rake.
Oh, okay.
The metal, the like wide tooth metal rake.
Yeah.
Scrape that out.
Yeah.
For a while, I used a golf club. I'm a man, all right. I'm a dad. I keep a golf club in the shed. One of my old wedges I keep in the shed
Sure.
for when I'm out and the kids are playing, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna swing my old shed club around,
To just practice that swing.
and you know what? It comes in handy now because our dog Gilbert loves to chase tennis balls. It's like his purpose in life is to chase tennis balls.
Yeah.
And he likes it when I hit them with the golf club. He like, I don't know, maybe his old owner did this, but he recognized I pulled up my golf club one of the first times he was playing around the backyard. He runs over and just drops the ball right like where I had the golf club. I was like,
Really?
"Huh, you must know this." And so he
Huh.
likes it when I hit his tennis ball with the golf club so he can chase it around the yard. So, but anyway,
That's fun.
so I use a big metal rake and rake out them leaves and sticks and stuff. Works a lot better than a golf
Nice.
club.
Yeah, look at you. You're doing your neighborhood a service. Good on you.
I feel conflicted maybe is too strong a word because I don't feel that bad about it. But apparently our city sent out a memo saying don't unclog the drains because it can cause flooding. Like if they're that backed up, they
What?
can. And I like I said, I don't feel that bad because like get the water off my sidewalk. I felt really bad. I
Yeah.
was leaving to go to the gas station and a lady was walking by herself. And she just walked right through the puddle. She had Tevas on, so she was like built for this. She knew what she was getting into. But I was like, see, like she shouldn't have to walk through a massive puddle at the end of the street for no reason.
Right.
So again, I don't feel that bad, but if I ever do flood the drainage system, then they can come for me.
Yeah. They'll come for you. They'll get you.
So
They'll get you.
how about you, Joe? How's life?
Man, life's life, and
Yeah.
just life and left and right. Um, it's Cora's first week at school, so she's been
Ooh.
going to that, which has been great. She's been getting up, without much fuss. Granted, It's only the third day, so who knows? Uh,
Well,
but yeah, so she's doing that. Grayson is just still being a hoot. Yeah, the storms are pretty crazy. It rained here a good amount, but it was more windy than it was rainy here.
mm-hmm. That was for us
So
too.
much wind, it was crazy. Absolutely bonkers. Our neighbor has lost their third tree in their backyard
Ooh,
uh in like the last probably 3 years. 2 years. Three trees have come down. Um So it was crazy. I walked out kind of right as the wind started whipping up, like around 5:30, to go lower the umbrella on our deck umbrella,
mm-hmm.
and just like this mass of dust and dirt just like flooded our area. They're working on the high school, which our backyard basically butts up to the road,
Yeah,
and the high school's across the street from that. Um, so they're working on building a new high school. So I think there was just so much dust from that, but it filled our road. Like it looked like it was raining because of how like cloudy and foggy it was from the dust. It was crazy.
that's insane.
Um, yeah, it was so bananas. So
We gotta
it
be
was crazy, but did
we gotta be careful about you talking about dust clouds. You live in the middle of farm country. This is gonna be the Dust Bowl 2024.
exactly. Uh, but yeah, so that happened. We didn't lose power, which I was shocked about. Really thought we would lose power.
We didn't either. Katie's sister did,
Um,
but we didn't lose
okay.
power. We I've said this a few times. I'm gonna knock on wood again anyway. We've been pretty good. I think we've lost power maybe once since we've lived here.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, in the 4 years we've lived here. So, um, pretty good electrical structure around here. Internet structure terrible, awful, just terrible. Power pretty good.
Yeah. So yeah, that's been good. And then this week I picked up Magic the Gathering Arena
Hey
on my
hey,
phone.
welcome.
Yeah. So trying to learn Magic and see what that's all about because you and our other nerd friends, Kevin and Luke from Big Dad Energy, Jesus Christ. It's 8:52. It's so late.
I know. We're so old. I keep my decks in the
From
background.
Yeah, look at those things. So Kevin and Luke from Best Song Ever and you play Magic, and I was like, I have FOMO. I need to learn this game.
Which is good because
Uh,
we need a fourth. We played the 3-person like version of it last time, and it just is not designed that way. So it was pretty hodgepodge.
right.
So we need 4 people.
Y- Yeah, so I'm gonna pick it up. I'm gonna Kevin sent me a new spooky deck that's coming out in
Mm-hmm.
September, that I'll pick up come that once that comes out. It's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting game. Interesting to learn. Excited to get more into it. Just tack it on to the nerd, table in my life.
I sometimes sit back and chuckle at the man Katie thought she was marrying and the man Katie actually married. It's it's really funny. When Katie and I got married, I was like the only really nerd things I did was, I was a big fan of Lord of the Rings, I like Star Wars, like
Right.
the basic nerd culture stuff. In the 5 years that Katie and I have been married or 7 years that we've been together, it is just I have just tumbled down the rabbit hole of every nerd thing as you look in the background and see my D&D books and my magic cards
Yeah.
and my D&D spell cards that are over here. It's just, what a difference half a
You
decade
just gotta
makes.
embrace it, right? That's just who you are. And I've decided, I'm not a very muscly, strong, working out man, but I am indeed a nerd boy.
You know what? Sometimes you just got to follow the passions of your heart. My heart says I want to be a nerd.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, so just doing that, getting ready for football.
Yeah,
We talked about last week. It's coming up. Did you watch the Inside the Den?
I did. It was pretty good. I was very excited about it. 8
Good.
days from when we're recording this. Whenever this gets it's next Thursday is the first football game of the year. It's going to be Chiefs Ravens Thursday night next week.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So very excited.
That'll be good.
It's almost here. My hyperfixation can shift back to where it normally sits, and that's in football. So
Right.
it'll be very exciting. Um,
Yeah.
I have gotten in a habit of going to bed at a reasonable time this summer because my kids are menaces and
Mm,
wake up super early. And all that
right.
hard work from all summer, like last night I went to bed at 9:45, Joe. Felt amazing. Felt amazing.
Wow. Good for you, man.
The games don't even start till like 9 o'clock. I'm never gonna sleep again.
Not at all. It's gonna be terrible. You got 6 months of this.
I know it. And then 6 months to fix it
Uh,
again until we start this cycle all over again.
and then it happens all over again. We have our draft tomorrow.
We do. Fantasy draft. Uh I,
Fantasy draft.
I feel pretty good. I've already drafted one league. Uh
Okay.
but it was a little bit different. We each got to keep two players from our season last year. Um
Oh,
and
interesting.
I had Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill. Uh
Oh, you how? How did you swing that?
I just sometimes you're good at what you do, Joe. I don't know what to tell you. Uh so that was a pretty easy pickup for me. So I feel pretty good about having a full draft plus being able to keep Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill. So that felt pretty good.
Yeah, I'm looking at our draft lineup right now, and I am number 6, which is just the worst
Yeah, right in the middle.
position. Sucks so bad.
I always go back and forth on whether I want to be number 1 overall or at the end of the round where you get the swap, right?
2 in a row?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I feel like I've always had better drafts at the end of the first round because the number 1 overall pick never feels great, right? Like you draft someone number
Yeah.
1 overall, they get hurt before the first game even happens, and then that's the end of it.
Right. Yeah. Uh, I'm
Looking at
excited.
you,
I'm
Christian
excited to see
McCaffrey.
excited to see how it shakes out tomorrow. It'll be fun. Um, speaking of that, football starts in fall. And
Yes,
we're gonna chat a little bit because summer's winding down. We're coming into those great, great fall months. Um, and our kids are a little bit older. We're just gonna talk about some things we're looking forward to do this fall.
I think we have to reframe and really settle in on the answer to this question. And I need you how do I put this diplomatically? I need you to be a sane person just for like, I don't know, 30 seconds. 30 seconds, Joe.
Okay.
Are you in? Are you locked in?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. When does fall actually start for you?
For me, I'm wearing a Hawaiian shirt right now,
Okay.
right? So it's
Well,
August
it's a
28th.
Batman Hawaiian shirt.
It's a Batman Hawaiian shirt. I would say a proper fall starts September, probably ideally first,
Okay.
but you hit Labor Day, which I would say in the culture around here is like the last big day for lakes and pools.
Yes. It's a huge it was designed for Michigan. I don't know who else.
Yes.
Maybe Minnesota too. We can let Minnesota join in, but like Labor Day was designed for the last big weekend of going up north, going on a lake, going into pools, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Uh
Yeah. So I'm gonna say September 5th.
September 5th, that's a good one. That's a good date. I I go back and forth on this a lot. So, I think I've mentioned quite a few times this podcast. This week that we're in right now is birthday week. So,
Yeah.
my nephew's birthday was Monday. Ben's birthday is tomorrow, Thursday, the 29th, and my birthday is Saturday, the 31st. Those
Yeah.
this week, this last week of August is always crazy. Add in Ben's new best friend from just up the street, Anders. His birthday was Saturday. So from Saturday to
Right.
Saturday, we had 4 birthdays. Um,
Crazy.
which is insane. And so as we go through this week, it's always like the craziest week of the summer. It's like all leading to this. Katie's starting to go back to school. Her kids come back next week. Our kids go back into school. It's always like this crazy week. We never go up north over Labor Day weekend because we know that it's going to be insane.
Right.
So I like to spend my birthday. It's also my birthday is always the first weekend of college football. So I like to sit on the couch and watch college footall.
Mm.
Wake up, watch game day, watch some college football. That's my week. That's my birthday. Um, in the mix of this, I'm tempted to say my birthday, August 31st, is the first day of fall because that's my first day I
Interesting.
sit down and watch football, and football is fall for me.
So, yeah, football is your key indicator. Mine
Yeah.
is when you can't go in the water.
Yeah. Yep. And I think there's a good argument. I think a lot of people, obviously the climate has been changing. It is hotter later now. I mean, hell, it was like
Yeah.
70 degrees in November last year. So like I can't really
Right.
go by the weather. I would like to say it's when the leaves start to change and the leaves start to,
Right.
that's maybe it's a two-part answer for me where like I think fall starts on August 31st, but on the flip side, I feel like we're in fall once the leaves change and start to fall,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Uh but I'm gonna stick to my guns. I'm gonna say August 31st is when fall starts.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's a vibes thing, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm in fall mode year round. When the spooky stuff starts coming out on the stores, like that's when it really hits. And then when pumpkin spice flows
Oh yeah.
into coffee shops, and that was this past week.
Yep.
Uh, so, so
Uh,
yeah,
I
I mean that makes
used to
sense.
use pumpkin spice as my indicator. That used to be like, all right, pumpkin spice is here, it's fall time. And then,
Yeah,
like, I think 2021, Dunkin' Donuts put out their pumpkin spice on like August 1st.
love it. Good on you, Duncan.
I Sure, it's great for me. I love the taste of pumpkin. Pumpkin doesn't have to be a fall thing. We could do that year round. It's not like they don't grow pumpkins year round. Uh, but I was like that's too early. August 1st is way too early.
Yeah,
So I had to make a different indicator, and that's where I landed on. Whenever I sit down, and like technically football started last Saturday. I watched Georgia Tech play Florida State, right? Like, but they were in
right.
Ireland. It was a weird thing. It was a week
Oh,
zero
weird.
is what they call it. No, Saturday when a full slate of college football is on the TV, fall has started.
For sure. That makes sense. That makes sense. I think that's a good indicator. So your fall starts on Saturday.
Yep.
My fall starts in a couple weeks. Um, what big things are you looking forward to this fall? Whether with you, doing with the boys, doing with friends, family, whatever it might be.
Yeah. Um, we're actually a little bit busy. Not as busy as we were last year, but uh got a couple of things planned. Going to a Speaking of college football, for our buddy DeRoja for his bachelor party, he just wanted to take a trip and he wanted to go to see a college football game. So we're going to see his favorite college football team play down in South Carolina. So that'd be fun. That's gonna be first week in October. We're gonna do that. So I'm really looking forward to that. That's gonna be really cool. I've never been to an SEC football game, so
Okay.
for those outside of America, Jake, the SEC is like the what they say is the best league in college football. So it'll be the fans are crazy. They don't really have professional sports teams. They only care about college football, so the fans are insane. Um
Right.
so I'm excited for that. I think that's going to be cool. Um I'm excited for typical fall stuff. Like every year we do, we'll go to the cider mill and things like that. But this year specifically, all right, I'm gonna stand on business again. I've been standing on business a lot. I've been laying down the
Okay.
gauntlet on this podcast. The best cider mill I've ever been to is Gull Meadow Farms out in Kalamazoo, where we went to college, and I grew up. But
Interesting. Yeah.
uh, part of me thinks it's because I went there like when I was a kid, and that's like the cider mill I went to as a
Yeah.
kid. But there's something about it that is both big enough to have all the amenities, but small enough that it's not like a circus, right? Like it's not
Right.
um like the one we went to, me and my
In
kids
Belleville,
in
the Bucks.
the Bucks. I felt like that one was good, but it was also just huge. There were so many people there, so
Yeah.
much stuff there. Like it was just huge. Uh and Gold Meadows, I feel like, is the perfect blend of both. Like it's big enough to support basically all of Kalamazoo County, but it's also small enough that like you go in and like you're not waiting in huge lines. It still has the old cider mill that they sell the donuts and all the stuff out of. Like I feel like it's a nice
Right.
blend. So that's why stand on business. I think that's my favorite one that I've ever been to. Well, Katie brought up the other day. She's like, I'd really like to take the kids out to go to Gold Meadow to for a cider mill trip, and I was like, let's do it.
Yeah,
She's like, well,
that's awesome.
you're doing this and that throughout the fall. She's like, let me look up when Western has a home game. Maybe we can go to a football game, stay the night, and go to the cider mill the next morning. It's like, yeah, that sounds great. She picked a date, and turns out it's homecoming. And
Oh, okay.
yeah, so we got tickets. We're gonna go to homecoming on October 26th
Nice.
and take the kids to the cider mill. So that's gonna be
That's cool.
great. Very looking forward to that. Like you
Yeah.
mentioned, so it's funny. We went to the last time we went to a football game was exactly 2 years ago when Katie was 4 days from giving birth. We were in Kalamazoo 4 days before Will was born. Um, and so looking forward to doing it 2 years later where he's an actual human and he's
Yeah.
actually like walking around and participating and
Right.
I think it's gonna be a blast. I think the kids are gonna love it. So we're looking forward to that. So a couple of really big things, mainly colder weather. It's been so hot.
Yeah.
Here's I know we did a lot of dad complaining last episode, but this episode, the one thing I'm gonna complain about, it has been so muggy because we've gotten so much rain this summer.
Yeah.
Like I'm cutting my lawn weekly into late August. That never happens. It is normally dry as a bone out
Yeah.
there. Um and so like it is today. I took Ben outside. I had a little break from work. I took Ben outside to go play and I got bit by like 3 mosquitoes just from my own backyard. I'm like
Hate it.
this cannot happen. This is disgusting. So I'm really looking forward to one all the bugs dying, and two
Yes.
it just cooling off so it's not so muggy. Like if it was just hot and it was hot and
Really.
that's what it was, no big deal. But it's just so like I step outside and I feel gross.
Yeah. That's for sure. It's gross out there.
Yeah.
So,
Uh
so
so those are some big things that we're looking forward to. A couple of big, couple of big trips, cider mills, football. Ben's starting soccer, and we're gonna get him into a little bit of flag football. He's not gonna do like
oh, dang.
games of flag football, but it's like a month long camp that he's gonna do at the high
Yeah.
school. Um, and so a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Already packing our schedule full of sports stuff for the kids. So
Heck yeah.
it's gonna be a busy fall. Gonna be a lot of just good stuff going on.
Definitely. Well, that's cool. That's fun.
Yeah. One other thing I like about fall, and this is me being a homebody, I feel much less pressure to go places during the fall. Right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like
For
during the
sure.
summertime, it's like, hey, let's go out. It's warm. It's nice. Let's go outside. Let's go to a
Right.
park. Let's go walk. Let's go. And then wintertime comes along, and you're like, I feel no pressure. I can just stay here.
I'm hibernating.
Yeah, I can enter my hibernation right now.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to
That's
it.
for sure. Funny. Nice.
What about
Well,
you?
that's
What
very
you got on
cool.
the docket?
I want to get out of this place as much as possible.
Yeah,
Uh,
I know you do.
fall is amazing. Also Ren Fair season. Um,
Yeah, I'd like to go
so
see that this year. I every year I say I'd like to
my
go up
God.
there. I'd like to go up there.
Oh, it's the best. It's the best. I think I'm going this weekend. Um, and then I think I'm going next weekend. And then I think I'm going the end of September.
Hell
Um,
yeah.
so I'm going 3 different times this year. It's amazing. It's so much fun. So much fun to do. It's the best place. So there's that. I want to hit a haunted house or two. I haven't been to one in a couple years. I'd like to go check one out.
Too spooky for
Uh,
me. You're just too spooky.
um, I also I definitely want to get the kids out to cider mills, right? Do those things. I'd
Yeah.
like to check out some new cider mills. We always go to the Bucks because it is so kid friendly, but I'd like
Yeah.
to check out maybe a couple others in the area. I think Cora would like apple picking a lot.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Um, yeah, so do something like that. Uh, and then around here, there's a couple big fall festivals that happen with like vendors and like gnarly fair food and things like that.
Joe, I have a
So
question.
go to those.
I don't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah.
I do mean to interrupt you. I have an important question. Where do you find out about
Yes.
all these damn festivals and meetups of spooky people that you just so have? Do you have a spooky person Facebook group that posts like, "Hey, we're having a festival over here. We're having a fair over here, an art fair over here."
Right.
You
You
find
know,
them all the time.
I do. They just kind of pop up, right? Like I have friends on Facebook that are also spooky people. So like I'll see that they have liked stuff or want to attend an event. And it's like, "Oh, that's interesting." So like the Oddities and Curiosities Expo, for example,
Yeah.
that happens in July. Uh that's actually a big expo that travels around the country, and we just happened to have seen it on Facebook one year, and we are like, "Oh yeah, we'll go to that." The fall festivals that happen, the two big ones that we go to, happen in Tecumseh and Clinton, so where we live and where we grew up. So those ones we've known our entire lives. Um,
Okay.
and those, are your typical small town festivals. So just perusing the Facebook world, just seeing what's out there, what spooky things are out there, and sometimes you got to do a little digging, and you'll just find it.
It's just a scene that I'm so wholly unfamiliar with, right? Like
Yeah.
I I didn't go to any spooky festivals growing up. I went to things like, I don't know,
Right.
Kalamazoo hosted Rib Fest. Like I would go to Rib Fest.
Rib Fest.
I I
That's funny. I mean, but Kalamazoo had some good festivals, like Island Fest.
Island Fest was good. There was a
Yeah.
time, maybe when I was in high school, one summer they booked out a fest every weekend. They had a festival every
Yes.
weekend. And there were some really good ones. Blues Fest came, like Island Fest,
Yeah.
Rib Fest. They really had it booked out. It was a good time.
Yeah. So definitely just want to hit up some festivals. Go see some things. Go find some small town. I like small town festivals just because it feels like your typical like Halloween movie towns, like
Yeah.
the small town vibes.
If somebody were to go
That's
missing in a cornfield, they're definitely doing it where you live.
100%.
They're not walking out down 8 Mile where I live and like getting lost in a cornfield.
No,
That's not happening. If they're gonna
not
be
at all.
spooky, they got to be
Not
out in
at
the middle
all.
of nowhere.
Absolutely. So want to do that. The kids trick or treating, right? Like that's the best thing, or trunk or treating as many
Yeah,
times as they can. Um, is fun. Watching football when I can find it. Um, Drinking as many pumpkin beers as I can consume, right? All different varieties, all different brands.
I think I might have to
Uh,
get some this week. I have not had any yet. I know they came out like 2 weeks
Oof.
ago, but I
Yeah.
haven't I haven't dug into them yet. I My pumpkin consumption has been limited to the pumpkin cream cold foam, cold brew, cold foam, whatever from Starbucks.
Something like that. Yeah.
It's cold brew
Mhm.
with cold foam on top. I don't know how they actually pronounce
Right.
it, but um, that's the only thing I've really had that's pumpkin so far. Because again, my fall doesn't start until Saturday.
Right. There you go. Well, after Saturday, you're gonna take it all in. Pumpkin everything. Pumpkin bread, pumpkin
I
spice,
got thoughts
pumpkin
brewing. As
pancakes.
we talk this out loud, as we start getting these wheels turning, I might make beer brats on Saturday.
Oh,
So like
damn, that sounds good.
first weekend of football, first weekend of fall, just get the
Yeah.
thing going. I had a bachelor party this summer that uh we bought far too much beer for. I know that's wild to say about a bachelor party, but it we also bought a keg and
Hey, we're getting old.
well, we bought a keg and then people also bought beer
Oh,
thinking like,
jeez.
"Oh, we might need more." Like, no, we're not. Guys, like you don't just
No.
do the math. So I have one of my drawers in my fridge is full of Bush Light right now that I have.
Oh.
This bachelor party was a month ago. I've had 3 of this entire drawer of Bush Lights because I just every time I have one, I'm like, why am I drinking this? This is nothing.
Yeah.
This is nothing to me.
Right.
Um,
Not even enjoyable.
so I got to get rid of it somehow. Maybe I'll just throw it in a pot and boil some brats in it.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, so consuming a bunch of pumpkin stuff, is on my list, and then watching as many scary movies as I can. I'd like to get some new ones into my person.
I'm curious,
Uh,
what's your first spooky movie to kick off the the mood?
that's a really good question. Halloween Town.
Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah, the Halloween Town series, right? Because it just sets the vibe of like I want to live there, so it like really sets the mindset of like there's also not that many movies like there are, but there's not that many movies that are set around Halloween specifically.
No, I think it's this differentiating factor between like a movie. I use Christmas movies because that's what I watch the most of, but like
Right.
you have the Hallmark movies that are like Christmas movies, right? The town is
Yeah.
Christmas, the air is Christmas, the everybody has a
Yeah.
tree. It's just Christmas, right? And then you have the movies that are like, uh, what's the one with like Snape and Liam Neeson and Love Actually, right? Is that what it's called?
Uh,
Right?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Where it's around Christmas, but
Right.
and like
I Heart, you know?
no. Anyway, moving on from this discussion because we cannot have it again. Uh, I like Halloween Town's such a good one because it makes you like you would want to live in that town. You want to live
Yeah.
in Halloween, right? A little bit like in a different way, but like Nightmare Before Christmas is a little bit like that, right? Like you put yourself
Yeah.
into that town and feel spooky, right?
Yes.
Versus I don't know, like Freddy versus Jason, right? Where it's a horror movie, but
Yeah.
it's not like you're not inserting
No,
yourself into that movie.
yeah, so I wanna try to watch, like, as many movies based around Halloween as I can, but there's not a ton out there, so it generally, like, widens up to, like, horror in general. So,
Yeah.
start with Halloween Town, end with Trick or Treat, an
Mhm.
anthology movie that came out in, like, 2004, about the lore of Halloween and how you gotta follow the rules or you'll get got. Um,
Interesting.
so yeah. So that's kind of my fall. September is super busy for us. Like I said, I have all the Run Fest stuff, but then we also have a baby shower, got a wedding, just random things to go on all September and then October, right? It's Halloween month, then we're there. Then after that, it's done
And on to
for
Christmas.
a little bit. And on to Christmas. So I think that's my fall. It's gonna be crazy busy, a lot of fun. Gonna find at least one corn maze,
Have to.
I think.
You guys doing jack o' lanterns
Have to.
this year? Have you done? Hold on,
Oh yeah.
back up. Have you done jack o' lanterns in the past with the kids?
Yes, I also have 20 pumpkins that are, like, pre-carved, like, foam pumpkins
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that I set out every year. Maybe not that many, maybe 15, but then we generally will also buy at least, a couple pumpkins to carve too.
So we
So
haven't carved pumpkins yet with the kids. I'm thinking this year's gonna be
Oh,
the
really?
year. It, for us, we will buy pumpkins and just set them out on the front porch, like, and then
Yeah,
the squirrels come by and eat them, and they're gone,
right.
right? Um, but we haven't like done the whole process of scooping them out, cutting the holes and cutting the eyes, cutting the mouth.
Yeah,
Um, and I'm thinking this year might be the year. Maybe just one.
for
Like
sure.
maybe we'll just, or maybe Ben and I'll do one, and Katie and Will can do another one because Will's not quite big enough to
Yeah,
like get a grasp on it.
right.
But I think Ben is about that age that like you'd have fun with it.
Oh, for sure. I mean, Will might have fun just scooping out the guts,
Yeah,
right? Not letting him touch the knives, but let him play in the ick and the seeds,
I
you know?
worry I'd worry he'd eat it. That's my worry.
That is true. That is true. He probably will, to be honest.
They're menaces, Joe.
Um,
They're all menaces.
they are. But fall's a coming, and I'm really excited. We're finally
I'm
here.
ready
I've
for
been
it.
living it for a month.
I do see the argument to not rush out of summer. I can
Right.
sit down and accept the fact. I saw a good TikTok today about people starting
Okay.
fall too early, right?
Okay.
People that are like already ready for Christmas. My
Yeah.
wife. Um, and I accept that people love summer. I think that is a fair thing to accept of
Yeah.
people. People love the sunshine, people love the warmth, people love being by a lake. Ever since I started working as a corporate sellout, being summertime has much less value than it used to, right?
Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
the more fun things to do are in the fall and in even I would say like flipping over to spring, like when it's starting to get warm and it's starting like the flowers are blooming, everything's starting to like kick up again, all that stuff's pretty fun. Summertime to
70
me,
degrees. That's the key.
that is the perfect temp. We had that last week here. It was so nice.
Oh, so
Windows were
good.
open all week. It was great. Um,
Yeah.
but I understand people like it hot. I understand that you don't want
Yeah.
us shoving fall in your face, and I get that. But just know, if I had my pick of the seasons, I'm gonna pick fall every time. You're not gonna dissuade me from that.
Totally. Every time. Where can I find fall year round? That's what I want. Where's that at? Where's that place?
San Diego.
What?
I San Diego has the reputation for being 75 and sunny all year round. Like not too hot, not
That's
too
pretty
cool,
great.
just like 75 and sunny.
But I like the 70 and cloudy. That's the fall vibe that I want. And a cemetery.
Well, and I got a built-in, basically a built-in insulator on my body, so I actually want it 55, and crisp outside. That's how I prefer my weather.
Right. Well, that's great. We did it. We're getting
We
through
made it.
fall. It's coming up. Super excited. We recorded 2 weeks in a row. Uh, because we're doing big things. Um, Fall, man. I'm so ready. I'm so glad it's here, and I'm ready for you to be ready, and I'm excited that it's happening finally.
Me too. I'm ready. All right, Joe. Let's let these people get
All
out of
right,
here.
let's go. We got to go to bed. We're old men.
Boy, are we.
Uh, well, thank you all so much for listening. We really appreciate you. If you haven't already, give us a like, a comment, a subscribe, a rating, a review, all of that stuff. Really helps us out. Shoot us an email at bigdadenergypodcast@gmail.com. Let us know any topics that you want us to cover. Give us any insight into your life. What do you do as a parent? Let us know. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much to Planet Ant for having us on their podcast network.
Go follow us on our socials. We're at Big Dad Energy Pod on Facebook and Twitter, and at Big Dad Energy Podcast on Instagram and YouTube. Go follow us. Drop a like on YouTube. If you, I don't know, choose where you watch your podcast or listen to your podcast, give us a view on YouTube. Helps out. Lets us have a little bit of extra bump in the algorithm, all that kind of stuff. Like, rate, subscribe, all that good stuff. So thank you guys so much for listening. We appreciate you coming back every week, and hopefully you keep coming back. So for both of us, I'm Jared Schmansky.
I'm Joe Lopez.
Remember, click your tongues twice before you use them.
Dads.
This has been a production of Planet Ant Podcast, powered by Pinecast.